Hey, we're working really hard to get things ready. I can hardly wait to get back on the road again. And some of the things we're doing are just normal or should be normal maintenance items that we all should be getting done to our rigs, big and small. First on the menu today is our Suburban 12-gallon water heater. It has an anode. It's kind of a sacrificial metal rod, which is easily replaceable, that should be changed at the very least once a year, and in line with that, it would be of great benefit to descale the tank at about the same time. Today we're doing a little preventive maintenance, and that's going to involve working on our water heater. We're going to change the anode out in it, and we're going to flush it. And to flush it, we're going to use about half the volume of this water heater with vinegar and the other half with water, a diluted solution, so that we can clean the scale that builds up on the inside and hopefully get rid of some of the sediment to help prolong the life of the heater. Not just the heater, but the tank itself. If you have a water manifold system like Grand Design's Nautilus and many other RVs have, this becomes a whole lot easier. So the first thing we're going to do, open the compartment, turn the knob, lift the cover off, put it down out of the way, and this is the anode. This is the pressure relief valve up here. We're going to flush a little bit of water to get rid of what hot is left in it, and then we're going to take the anode out and let it drain outside of the RV so that we can begin our process. We are going to do the descale this time in a way that uses some cheap 3/4 inch PVC and two fittings, a 90-degree elbow and a threaded end, along with about a 3-foot piece of PVC that you can cut to size. We buy our anodes in a 2-pack from Amazon. The other things you'll need are a 1 1/16 inch socket, a 6-inch extension, and a handle in either 3/8 or 1/2 inch, a roll of Teflon tape, and 6 gallons of cheap distilled vinegar. It tends to have a lower odor. A little extension to be able to get it past the inset of the hot water heater, and my grandfather's old snap-on ratchet wrench, 1/2 inch drive, and that should take care of it. One of the nice things about having a Nautilus system is we have an outside wash. So I'm going to turn on the hot water. I've got my Nautilus set to be able to still use water, and I'm going to go ahead and dump the heat. So you'll have a 50% solution for the descaling process. Of course, I picked a 100-degree day to start, but I'd really like to get it done before we leave. So after flushing, the next thing I'm going to do is come in here and bypass the hot water heater by flipping that red valve. Once I've done that, that should isolate it. So now I can go ahead and remove the anode and dump the water without worrying about the system refilling. And to get it to flow, I'm going to go ahead and open the top. And pull this out. Take a look at how much that anode has been destroyed. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is use 4 pieces of PVC. 3/4 inch, just standard white. I use Schedule 40 PVC. 90-degree elbow. This was at one time one section. Cut off 3 feet, and then I chopped it down to make it far enough to reach out, and a threaded fitting on this end, put a little Teflon tape on it to go into where the anode went so that I can fill this tank. With vinegar, and I could do it by pumping it through the Nautilus system, but this is just going to be done tight. I'm going to use this and a funnel That way I know just about exactly where this tank is when it's full. And you can do this on any system, whether it's Atwood or Dometic or whoever it is, if you don't have a Nautilus. So we'll do this so that it kind of covers a little bit of everybody. Now, we're just using standard white vinegar, distilled vinegar from Costco, because it was cheap. We don't use apple cider because we don't really want a little bit of extra smell. This is supposed to be a little bit deodorized. Still smells like vinegar to me. Pour it in. Now, I'm going to turn the bypass back on the Nautilus to refill it from the panel. I could take those empty bottles, fill them up with just plain water and pour it in there that way as well, but this is just easier, so I'm going to do it. There we go. We get some fluid coming out the bypass and some fluid coming out here. We know that it's full. So I've turned it back off. I'm going to close this. And now we're just going to let this sit.
8 hours later.
According to the NRVTA, we're supposed to leave this vinegar in for anywhere from 8 to 12 hours. Now, because we started a little late in the day, early in the afternoon, to put all of this in, and I don't want Shelly to be without water for later tonight, we're going to go ahead and cut it off at the 8-hour point. The noise you hear in the background is my bestest little buddy, Grizz, and he's sitting right there at that window making comment on my mechanicking skills. So expect to hear a little bit more from him while we do this. Anyways, what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and dump the vinegar out of it, and then we're going to rinse it again. The last time this water heater had that much sediment in the bottom, the majority of it was calcium lime deposits that it had been rinsed off when I was doing the initial rinse. See how much more we get or less we get when we go ahead and start this. So it's an easy process. It's just turn it over and let it flow. So we'll see how we do. Should be interesting. Prepare for the smell. Oh yeah, and once again, that's what that anode looks like after being in there for about 8 months. Amazing. Okay, laugh at me, I'm going to get myself vinegar smelled. Pop the valve. Kind of directs the thermos down to the concrete, off into the gravel. Pocket flashlight. And see what I see. On the bench. It looks as clean as a whistle in there. Watch out for when you're getting ready to put your new anode in is that you want to be certain that there's no sediment or calcium or anything that's built up onto those threads. And make sure you put some Teflon tape, plumbing tape. We use this interesting blue tape because it seems to work real well for us and did last time on your threads, and be certain to wrap it the right way. If you're looking at the threads as the direction that it goes in, you wrap it clockwise to make sure that it stays in place while it's being wound in instead of just being pushed off. See if I can snug it in just by hand. Just a little bit. Change this to on. And this has got a long moment arm, so we're going to be careful not to do it too hard so it's not too difficult to get off, but so that it's snug enough to do its job. that's set. Want to make sure that there are no particles or anything up inside that valve. The next thing on the list is to sanitize our freshwater tank and lines. Then a simple oil and filter change of our generator. Not because of engine hours, we only put about 34 on it this year, but I like to be sure we do that every calendar year. Now, sanitizing is pretty easy with our system. It's just a matter of mixing a solution of common household bleach and water, then drawing it into our freshwater tank through the Nautilus. The formula is 1 cup of bleach per 50 gallons. Our tank is 97 gallons, so 2 cups in a pail of regular water is perfect. Then top off the tank till it overflows and let it set for 8 to 12 hours. Then dump and flush. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Our Onan, when it comes to an oil and filter change, is amazingly easy. It's all right there when you open the bay. It was warm enough outside that I didn't feel like I had to run the Onan Jenny ahead of time to get the oil warm enough to flow. There is an easy-to-reach petcock with a drain line on it that exhausts below the Jenny, and the filter sits right out front. Just slide a small 4-gallon oil catch container under the drain, remove the oil fill cap, open the petcock, then loosen the filter with a couple of rags handy, drain the filter into the container, install the new filter, making sure that the old filter gasket didn't come off the oil filter, that old oil filter. Then wipe a little oil on the new filter's gasket and spin it on. I've usually had good luck making it hand tight and have never had it leak. Run it for a minute or two so you'll be sure that the filter is full, then recheck the oil level. These things are finicky. If the level is even a little too low, the Jenny will run for a few minutes, then shut itself down. Okay, for today, but not absolutely last, is to replace the vent valve under the bathroom sinks. 2 minutes tops. Unscrew the old black plastic one and screw on the perfect fit 1 1/2 inch Studer ABS but white valve. Make sure to use some Teflon tape to help eliminate any chance of air leakage. Done. Bob's your uncle. Now the day before we leave, I'll regenerate the soft water tank and replace all of our water filters, then put about 30 gallons of fresh, soft, and filtered water in our tank for travel needs. The truck, I'll take it to Jiffy Lube, and then we'll top it and the jerry cans off for the road. Have you guys performed any regular maintenance on your rigs? Do you do them on a set schedule and time, as needed, or a combination of both, kind of like we do? We've gotten a lot done this last month and sure hope we've got it all covered. If you can think of anything that we might have missed, comment below. We have met so many of our wonderful subscribers and are looking forward to meeting more of you as we travel this great country. And if you're out there on the road with us, please travel safe.